The story starts with a random village burning as everyone seeks shelter. The last soldiers were killed by one of the orc brothers who have taken over the village. The eldest raises a glass to celebrate this victory with his brothers. Who knew they could be so loving? The orcs talk about capturing humans as they drink heavily, but then a young boy approaches them and draws a wooden sword. They certainly won't be too excited about being disturbed. He introduces himself as Ekusaba Asahi, an adventurer, but they mock him since a pipsqueak like him couldn't possibly defeat the three of them. Why is everyone so full of themselves? However, he retaliates, warning them it would be in their best interests not to attack him and regret afterward. My point exactly. One of the orc brothers charges toward him and leaps into the air. Asagi shields his face when suddenly a cloud of dust explodes in the orc's path before he can reach the kid. Coincidence or just great luck? The dust dissipates to reveal a rocky spike emerging from the ground which pierces through the eldest orc, killing him immediately. A beautiful young girl with bright red hair furiously attacks the orcs. One of them runs away while the other cowers in front of her. Asahi has lived a regular life, but one day he saves a child from a car accident and dies instead. Recap-kun strikes once again. While he's waiting to move on to the next world, all he can think about is new video games and how everyone would react to his death, including the redhead Maya. Completely normal thoughts for a dead person, right? Suddenly, he sees the iconic light at the end of the tunnel and finds himself in a fantasy world that has it all. Castles, dragons, slimes, and much more. He excitedly walks through the village, being more amazed that this place resembles an RPG game which resembles sort of like Europe, but everyone speaks Japanese. Must be a dream come true for him. Asagi sees a store labeled Guild and is so happy he's so familiar with all these in-game terminologies like shops and skills. Wow, he knows the word shop. He really can't control his excitement at being reincarnated in a video game. He takes a picture from his smartphone wanting to upload it, but there's no service. Isn't that obvious? It's medieval times, and neither does he have any money. However, he is certain he's played so many games he can get out of any crisis. He visits the pawn shop to sell his phone since he doesn't have any use for it, and the shopkeeper wonders if it's from an ancient civilization. Ironic, isn't it? Well, it's a classic video game trope where he sells items he doesn't need and buys some leather armor for physical agility and a simple sword. He thinks he'll be great at fighting on the front lines. Fully equipped, he heads to the Adventurers Guild where he meets a bubbly, short-haired girl who thinks it's cute he's come looking for his first quest. Why do girls always seem to like the losers? She takes responsibility for teaching him the regulations and presents the registration form which he fills out. The two of them pick his first quest together, and she suggests he should defeat killer rabbits that rank E on the danger scale. He accepts and travels out of town where he encounters a fire-breathing wyvern that chases after him. Suddenly, he doesn't like the game as much and runs for his life, wondering if someone must have set the wrong difficulty setting. He goes through his skills and comes across basic level 1 stone throwing, only to discover his base stats are quite low too. Don't think it's effective against fire. He desperately throws a stone at the wyvern, but it barely lands a few meters away, dousing his hopes. The creature corners Asagi as he lies on the ground and calls out for his elder sister, Maya. Suddenly, the ground turns pink under him, opening a portal and summoning Maya, who recognizes her brother had called out for her. He's relieved to see her as the wyvern attacks her with fireballs, but she realizes she can fly. Did the pretty girl also get all the superpowers? She uses her newfound powers like strength and bravery and defeats the wyvern in a single blow to save her little brother. He wonders what she's doing in this world with him, but she's ecstatic and hugs him. Her compliments do seem quite flirty for siblings as she sits on top of him. Yup, she is the overexcited, brother-obsessed real sister. He explains to her they are in another world, and he asks her how she ended there. She explains that while he was in a coma after the accident, she was beside herself with worry and spent day and night by his side. However, in his sleep, he kept muttering things about another world which made her wonder if his spirit had traveled somewhere else. Thus, she repeatedly bangs her head against a wall and ends up here. Asahi is surprised he's still alive and that Maya has such amazing powers, but he decides to head back to their world. Maya asks how he plans to do that, but of course, he hasn't thought of it and blames her for following him here without a way to get back. So now they have no option but to make new lives for themselves in this world. He doesn't quite like that only Maya is OP and that she might be the main character. Back in the present, the orc begs Maya for mercy, but she obliterates him in one hit, truly living up to her title. Maya says there was no way she could have forgiven them, and Asahi thinks she must be worried about the dead villagers. However, she could just not tolerate Asahi being called a pipsqueak. She is upset that his perfect porcelain skin has a blemish and thinks she doesn't deserve to be his older sister after this. Might be taking it a little too far. She presents a healing elixir which Asahi tells her most people to save to use against the final boss. He tells her a bit of spit is enough to fix it, but she misunderstands that he wants her to lick him all over. She might have forgotten she's his sister. He refuses, but she jumps on him and starts licking him. I don't think she understands the concept of consent, as the survivors from the village gather around and recognize that MC saved them. They start cheering for him, calling him a mighty hero, surprised that Maya's victory has been attributed to him. However, he has now accepted that this story is just about his big sister being OP. Back at the Adventurers Guild, the receptionist congratulates him for ranking up 3 classes after the orc incident, which is quite a huge achievement. He holds his hand out and she presents him with an ogre class badge. She explains that a badge is like an identity document, so he's not allowed to sell or give it away. Her praise makes him blush, but I'm not too sure Maya will be happy about it, as she continues telling him that falsifying ranks is illegal, which could result in execution. Asahi begs Maya to hide her strength and make him appear like the strong one. She doesn't understand but agrees. Asahi asks to see her stats. She just starts dictating her measurements and finally gets her to display them. However, the screen is empty and he wonders if it's an error. But then it strikes him that maybe her levels are so maxed out that the scores stretched off the entire screen. He really can't help his jealousy at this point and insists she must never show anyone else. She loves keeping a secret just between them and agrees in exchange for seeing MC's secret numbers, where she just wants to count the number of beauty marks on his body. Come on, isn't that a little too perverted? In town, Asahi and Maya see a crowd gathered around a party of knights, whom the people rely on to defeat the Demon King. Why is there always a Demon King? Asahi wonders if they are famous. Isn't it obvious there's an entire procession for them? The man from the pawn shop tells him they are the strongest party, Clan Balmonk. This entire parade is a farewell to send them on their mission to defeat the Demon King. Asahi explains to Maya that the Demon King is the final boss and defeating him could sometimes send people back to their worlds, which makes her want to kill him in one hit. Hey, it's not like heading to the convenience store. The man from the pawn shop tells her no matter how high her rank is, they need to gain more experience as he tells them about Dragon Hunter Siegfried. The leader of the clan is a dragon-class adventurer. We get it. It's in the name. Asahi marvels at them and wants to be just as strong one day. A big burly man, Delin, who's had too much to drink, overhears them and says there's nothing too good about being dragon class, and that Siegfried is just arrogant and cocky. He must not have been able to achieve it himself to hate it that much. The man with the food stand tries to cool down the angry customer, who smashes an axe through the table. Wouldn't want to get on his bad side. Townsfolk start gossiping about who could defeat Delin since he used to be an ogre class, even though he got demoted, and the pawn shop owner turns their attention to Asahi. The people start cheering for him as their champion who will save them, and Delin calls him a pipsqueak. Oh, he better watch out for big sister Maya, who is furious at this insult. Asahi tells her she's strong enough to flatten this human, but she assures him she's thought it through. She plans to pound him with magic until he's on the brink of death, so he'll crave to be killed for the rest of his life. Why are all pretty girls so scary? He instigates them to attack, but Asahi whispers something to Maya and walks towards Delin, throwing one insult after the other. He uses an old mom joke, and Delin attacks, but Asahi moves his hand, cracking the stone-paved street beneath them. Delin runs away scared, and Asahi becomes a hero using Maya's power, with no one finding out he is actually weak. Maya reminds Asahi of his promise to do anything in exchange for her help and smiles mischievously. The story continues with Asahi recapping how he ended up in this situation. MC was summoned to another world only recently and is now in the middle of a slime hunting quest as a novice adventurer. With a mighty strike, he manages to slice the blue slime in two. Hooray! He is embarrassed to say that he can finally beat a single slime easily, and it only gives him 1 experience point, but that's the level he's at. On the other hand, his big sister Ikusaba Maya is much more experienced and seems to be doing better. She levitates in the air, magic circles appearing in front of both hands. Shouting "Big Sis Fire," she obliterates an entire field full of slimes while MC watches stunned. Maya turns to him, remarking he's taken care of things on his end too. But the difference between them is unbelievable. She's just gained 100,000 experience. As she runs to him and hugs him, Maya tells him she's proud of how capable he is. Unfortunately, with the raging inferno still behind her, that's kind of hard to believe. Thus, MC is starting his life in another world with a sister who's got a cheat-level power, and a cheat-level brother obsession too. Elsewhere, the hero Siegfried and his party have been completely annihilated by the Demon Lord, a well-endowed horned lady. "Unbelievable," he exclaims. "We've driven off countless dragons, but we're unable to defeat her." The Demon Lord boasts she's much stronger than any dragon and goads Siegfried into attacking her. He charges her, but she sends a blast of purple magic at him that takes him out in a single hit. The bored look in her eyes is all-consuming as she wonders where she'll find somebody who can entertain her a little and won't fall in a single attack. The scene then shifts to Maya sneezing. "Huh, did you catch a cold?" MC asks. Since Maya is dressed like that, MC goes over and gives her his jacket, because that's a healthy trope since guys don't get cold or sick. Feeling that he cares for her, Maya's blush turns into a very desiring gaze. "Well, if that's the case," she says, "why don't you warm me up using your body heat?" At this, MC laughs nervously and tries to back away, but she's upon him in an instant. "We're going down this road again?" The next day, MC resolves to not keep relying on Maya, and he sets out to take on a quest he should be able to complete on his own. Given the entire reason anyone is watching this anime is his sister, I somehow doubt things will go as planned. As he walks to the Adventurers Guild, his sister opens a window above him, positively beaming. "I'm so glad I got to come to this world," she thinks. "After all, I get to be with Asahi from when we say good morning to when we say good night." More interesting thoughts appear. "I bet he's in the next room thinking the exact same thing," she says, holding her laundry in her hands. Just then, she realizes she can't sense MC's presence in the other room as everything has gone completely quiet. She bursts into his room, not even respecting his privacy. What if he's just doing teenage guy things? Luckily for him, this isn't the case. When Maya enters, she finds it empty save for a note on the table. "I'm going for a little walk. Be careful not to catch a cold," it reads. She inspects his bed, finding it still mildly warm, meaning MC can't have gone far. It looks like she's about to search for him when she suddenly gets a better idea. "Wait, this is Asahi's bed," she shouts before jumping onto it. "I can feel his warmth." Soon she's wrapped up in his own sheets and completely lost in heaven. Even Yanders might be able to take a few notes here. Meanwhile, Asahi is off at the Adventurers Guild looking for quest contracts from the receptionist Tanya. She suggests troll hunting or a quest to swipe a wyvern's egg as options matching his level of skill. The troll quest is of moderate difficulty at level 15, while the wyvern quest is very difficult and is at level 18. These are both ridiculously difficult. MC panics since there's no way he can complete those quests without his sister there. He needs to get Tanya to give him a quest he can finish up quickly before his sister gets suspicious, so he asks if there's any quests that are easy and close to town. Tanya is confused and tells him there are only rabbit and goblin class quests near here. Not wanting to make her more suspicious, MC tells her he wants an easy quest because he doesn't want to forget what it was like to start out, and he'd be able to quickly help the town if anything happened. A natural 20 deception check later, MC is handed a quest to gather rainbow mushrooms in the Claudio Forest. It's difficulty level 2 and was intended for complete beginners, so Tanya apologizes. It might not be all that fulfilling for someone who's ogre class. MC pulls some more BS, reminding her no matter how small the quest, someone has to do it. Thus, Tanya leaves in with the magic mushroom quest. Surely with such an easy quest, MC should be able to handle it without his sister and get enough experience and money to pay for the room at the inn. And so, MC is off looking for rainbow mushrooms. When he gets there, everything is literally easy pickings, but it makes him wonder why there aren't any other adventurers around. That's when he sees the sign warning about dangerous bears. Surely it'll be unlikely for a bear to attack the one guy who is extremely weak without his sister and all by himself. Surely right. Which is when a bear shows up to attack him, chasing him as he tries to muster up the courage to confront it. He turns and uses his signature skills stone throw, because that worked well last time. Sure enough, he actually uses one of his mushrooms, tossing it right into the bear's mouth, who swallows it instantly before resuming the chase. Then, a massive blast of lightning completely annihilates the creature and sends MC bouncing all over the place, spilling mushrooms until he crashes into a nice comfy cushion. It's a pair of melons. MC immediately realizes it's her sister. What with the insane amount of power and the feel of those pillows? He calls her sister, but unfortunately for him, it turns out to be the Demon Lord, complete with her 2 ox horns. MC immediately jumps away, apologizing, but the demon seems to take a liking to being called Big Sister, even going so far as to protect him from the horde of bears that soon show up. No matter how many weaklings amass, they are useless, she declares before annihilating them all. Kaiser Bear, the guardian of the Claudio Forest, makes its appearance, recognizing the demon as Kill Maria. He channels a powerful energy blast and MC starts saying his prayers, but Kill Maria pulls him into her melons again and deflects the attack with a magic barrier. She treats him as her little brother, so it's only natural of her to protect her brother. After annihilating the Bear King with a single attack, Kill Maria reveals herself as one of the Demon King's 6 generals. Kill Maria. Fortunately for him, MC is weak and she won't attack him. Not to mention, she considers him her brother. Of course, misfortune is never far off. Soon, Kill Maria confides in him. She's looking for an adventurer named Asahi to fight him to the death. But wait, that's me. He realizes, instantly figuring out just how dead he is. She's on a totally different level from the other adventurers. MC is about to run off when his adventurer ID coin slips out of his pocket and rolls over to Kill Maria. Oh, I guess the DM is railroading us into a boss fight. The demon commander immediately channels an attack while elsewhere. Maya's "My brother's in danger" radar goes off. MC starts running from Kill Maria, who flies after him confused. "Why aren't you fighting?" she asks, still believing him to be a powerful adventurer. "Because I'm scared," he shouts. Thus, the demon flies after him while trying to convince her little brother to fight her to the death. This goes on for a bit before a pillar erupts from the ground, separating the two and sending MC flying into another set of melons. These he recognizes for sure. This sensation, this scent, it's Maya. The two girls proceed to have an argument about their revealing looks and how they plan to pounce on MC. Their exchange over, they proceed to clash right there, and for the first time, none of their attacks are able to end the battle in a single hit. "You can keep up," they exclaim. After seeing Maya's power, Kill Maria realizes the legend of the star adventurer Asahi was really due to his sister. The pair duel while MC looks on, each of their blows tearing apart bits of the once peaceful Claudio Forest. Whenever one makes an attack, the other defends. Everything seems evenly matched, until Kill Maria unleashes her killer fire attack, which Maya easily blows away. Oh no, did Saitama finally get serious? In a single attack, Kill Maria is defeated and sent into a painful impact on the ground. As Maya goes in for the kill, MC steps in and tries to defend her since she had protected him from the bears. With an absolutely cracked charisma check, he manages to end the fight on a rather peaceful note, convincing Kill Maria he doesn't harbor any resentment towards her for trying to kill him, and staving off Maya by assuring her their fight was only due to a misunderstanding. All's well that ends well, right? As they're walking back to town, Maya practically throws herself onto him, saying she's out of MP and can't walk anymore. She wants him to give her a piggyback ride. MC calls her a liar, and she confesses she understands Kill Maria's desire to pounce on Asaki. When they arrive home, MC makes dinner while poking fun at Maya's skill names, who calls their attack Big Sis Wind Blast.
本当にいいお尻をしているな。興奮を禁じ得ないさ。やめろ、変態やね。女が逃げれば逃げる。私は燃えるタイプだということ。
Ikusaba Asahi is shown running through the forest from a monster as he introduces himself as a completely average guy. Well, even so, you don't see high school dude being chased by orcs every day in a fantasy world, do you? One day, a tragic coma induced in an accident made his dream of traveling to an alternate universe come true, where he's currently living his best life as an adventurer. He jumps off the ledge as the monster catches up to him and throws a rock at it. Yep, he causes the damage of 2 whole HP as he runs for his life. Turns out his skills and abilities are just as average as he is. He'd obviously hoped to be OP, but is still quite far from it. The monster calls for reinforcements, and even though Asahi may be pretty useless, he does have one trump card, his elder sister Maya. She blasts fire at all the monsters, eliminating them in a single strike. He feels slightly insecure. He still needs to be rescued by his elder sister as she dusts off his clothes. However, she does take advantage of this opportunity to grope his behind, which she claims excites her. She gets too overwhelmed and wants to explore every inch of his body to see how much he's grown. Talk about an unhealthy obsession. In the kingdom of Caesarion, in the capital city of Epiphaneia, Asahi checks his stats to learn he's finally reached level 10. This could have easily been done while watching a tutorial. Nevertheless, he is proud of his achievement. Maya realizes that none of the XP from the hundreds of monsters she's beaten has gone to Asahi. What he gets is solely based on the damage he inflicts. I'm sure it doesn't take a genius to deduce it's not a lot. He realizes he needs to work harder, but Maya suggests it would be easier for him to level up if she traps a monster and he keeps attacking it. This triggers him since he doesn't want to fight a defenseless opponent. Finally, Maya suggests Asahi should attack her, and since she's at such a high level, he should get tons of XP. However, he refuses again, saying he doesn't want to hurt her. I doubt that's even possible. Eventually, Maya realizes there's no point for Asahi to fight battles since she just ends everything in one hit. Asahi wants a new skill, but Maya can't hold herself back even when he's busy and wraps him in a tight hug from behind. He's truly living the dream. He finds the skill he's looking for, escape, and uses it to teleport away from her grasp. However, Maya enjoys a little challenge as she wants him even more now and leaps at him before he can escape. Asahi heads to the Adventurers Guild hoping to join a party, which is one of the real pleasures of games like this one. Travels, romance, special skills, and defeating boss monsters are all part of the experience. He greets Tanya, and she suggests he should put together a party of his own that can be famous when he completes his tasks, or he can join the one that Siegfried leads, Balmung. It consists of Gordon, an impenetrable tank, Mimosa, an excellent sorceress, Shulane, an elven archer, and Siegfried, a knight himself. Asahi wonders what Siegfried has currently been up to during his mission of defeating the Demon King. Tanya reveals where they were almost wiped out by a dangerous enemy on their way back, and he wonders what kind of monster it could be. She instructs him to be safer on his travels, so he obviously needs more time to think before joining a party. Asahi is on his way back when he comes across a group of drunk people harassing a lonely drunk man for his money, which he doesn't have since he's already spent it all on alcohol. Truly feels sorry for the poor guy. However, Asahi can't just stand and do nothing as one of the attackers draws his sword and throws tiny pebbles at them. He plans to draw their attention, giving the poor man just a slight window when he could make a run for it, and Asahi would too have enough stamina to use his escape skill. I hope for Asahi's sake his plan works. They are both prepared to attack each other when the drunk man knocks all 3 of the attackers out, shocking Asahi. He throws up after so much action and too much alcohol. Asahi realizes the man is Siegfried, the leader of Balmung, but he doesn't look like his usual shiny self and looks more wasted instead. Asahi gives him some water and he instantly feels better. Asahi can't get over his shock and confirms to the man that he's really Siegfried, the dragon-class adventurer of the Balmung party. The man affirms his identity but also mentions he does not deserve such an impressive title in his current state. He suggests he should be called Loyal Dog Pachi instead of Dragon Hunter. Asahi finally asks more about what happened, and Siegfried explains that even though they set out to defeat the Demon King, they had failed spectacularly. His spirit is so broken he allows Asahi to laugh, as he further explains they were beaten by a single demon. Demon's power was too much for them to handle, and no matter what attack or buffs they seemed to use, they were no match for him, and what's worse is that the demon hadn't even begun to fight seriously. Imagine living life as such an OP character. Siegfried had never imagined they'd encounter someone so powerful, and has thus lost all his confidence and reduced to nothing but drinking all day long. However, he can't seem to bottle up his emotions anymore and has a breakdown. He's mainly mad at his parents for giving him such a pretentious name, because he's worked so hard to live up to it and failed. He's practically rolling in the streets at this point, and Asahi tries to make him feel better by reminding him of all the irreplaceable experiences, friends, and memories he has gained over the years. He has built a life for himself and tells him about how Tanya had just recommended his party as the most ideal one. However, Siegfried gets really serious and grabs Asahi by the shoulders, telling him that's not how life works. The natural order is quite different, and he proceeds to tell him how Mimosa loves to have a good time and spends all the clan's money on host clubs. Is it really so wrong for a girl to party sometimes? Meanwhile, Shulane is always talking down on him and lecturing him just because she's an elf and 150 years older than the rest of them. And as for Gordon, he's never even seen his face hidden behind armor. Siegfried wants Asahi to learn from this and not idolize being in a party because Balmung 2 had disbanded after their last defeat from the women. Siegfried tries to pretend he enjoys it alone since he's free and has no restrictions or liabilities. But Asahi doesn't believe him. After the conversation ends, Asahi runs home feeling a kind of kinship with Siegfried because he wants to save everyone's life too. Siegfried looks up at the sky and decides he is not going to drink anymore. Asahi returns to the guild where he finds an excited Tanya because they had just received a new quest which she thinks will be perfect for Asahi. The quest is quite urgent as a horde of wyverns is attacking a settlement outside of town. Moreover, all the highest-ranked adventurers are currently unavailable, and since he's already killed a wyvern before she believes there is no one better for the job. Well, technically it was Maya, he was just standing there. Asahi says he'll return to the inn to prepare for battle, but Tanya insists there is no time as she pushes him on the wagon that's already waiting to take him to the location. Asahi arrives and is frightened to see 3 to 4 wyverns attacking the village the wagon left right after dropping him off. Asahi stands in a battle stance, sword drawn, wondering if there is a skill called Flee that helps them run faster. However, suddenly all the wyverns are incinerated and evaporated into thin air by a girl whom Asahi recognizes as Kilmaria, but she wants him to call her his big sister. He thanks her for saving his life, yet again, and she comments about how he always needs saving. Asahi defends himself, saying he's too weak and wonders what she's actually doing here. She came to return Asahi's adventurer tag, which he had dropped from his pocket the last time they met. He thanks her for going through all this trouble for him when more wyverns appear in the sky behind her. They're probably no match for her, as she assures him she'll keep him safe. Kilmaria is about to attack, but the wyverns are destroyed in front of their eyes in a lightning attack as Maya appears, and they're both glad to see her. Kilmaria says her true target was a rematch with her, but Maya just walks right past her toward Asahi. He really is the center of her universe. She's been worried about him since he was reckless to leave her behind and go fight wyverns on his own. Asahi tries to explain he didn't plan to come alone, and it all sort of just happened as she offers him health potions for injuries he doesn't have. She puts her arm around his neck and announces they'll head home when Kilmaria is furious that Maya ignored her. Maya calls her a scandalous half-naked woman whose appearance is harmful to Asahi, who doesn't love good curves, and tells her to remove herself from his presence immediately. Kilmaria turns the comments back at Maya, saying her outfit is more revealing, but Maya says this is just the kind of outfit that Asahi prefers. Really strange how she knows about his perverted choices. Asahi frantically asks them not to drag him into this conversation, and Maya continues to say her outfit resembles police uniforms. However, the rematch is more important to her as a purple flame dances on her fingertips, and she's determined not to lose. Maya refuses to fight, so Kilmaria takes Asahi hostage only to be attacked by Maya, and they too start fighting as a wyvern picks Asahi in its mouth. The two of them rescue him, and he and Maya return home as Kilmaria promises to meet them again. The next sunny day starts with Tanya walking in a scary way, as if like she's about to kill someone, while showing a picture and explaining how in the kingdom of Caesarion, Lord Midnight created this house for his servant to stay. But after being abandoned for years, people often hear screams from that house at midnight. Crazy rumors are running around the town that it is now possessed by an evil spirit, a wraith. Guess what? In the next scene, Ikusaba, Asahi, and Maya are standing in front of the same house. Next, it cuts to Asahi appearing at the quest center where he requests Tanya to give him a quest that would offer him a lot of money as a reward. Tanya could guess that Asahi seems to be broke and probably isn't able to pay rent for the lodging that he and his sister are living in. I mean, no shit, Sherlock. While Asahi starts fantasizing about owning a house for himself and his sister, Tanya immediately offers Asahi a quest that was requested by the noble family. And guess what they would offer as a reward? Yes, all they have to do is simply get rid of evil spirits. Of course, not as evil as Maya's inner demons. At first, Asahi makes a scared Astro Boy face, but the rewards seem appetizing. Asahi immediately agrees without a blink, even though he's crapping his pants, which apparently Maya finds cute. And so the couple, I mean siblings, decide to visit the haunted house at night. This was probably Maya's idea. I mean, she got reincarnated by bumping her head to the wall. Asahi mentions that many priests and adventurers failed to flee the spirit away, and it seems to be a dangerous quest. He literally totally depends on Maya on this one. So Asahi tries to act like a tough guy who's not scared of ghosts or spirits, but as soon as he hears lightning, his soul leaves his body. Maya starts to laugh as she remembers the time back when they were alive in the real world, when Asahi would play horror video games, and at night, he would ask someone to accompany him to the washroom as he was scared of ghosts and monsters. We all went through that phase, right? Asahi starts to feel embarrassed, so Maya comforts him by telling him he doesn't need to pretend about anything. She has known him for over 15 years, so he shouldn't hide his phobias. Finally, some real sibling moments. Right after that, a cat jumps in, and Asahi's soul is again about to leave his body. As they reach the haunted house, Asahi tends to open the door, but as soon as he touches the door, he stumbles and falls back. Asahi mentions that the cursed door has draining skills, and it drained his energy, that's why he fell back. That's when the Ikusaba siblings get to hear the gate speaking, as it warns them to return if they value their life. So they return and roll credits. Now, of course, that wouldn't happen because they're the main characters. It turns out that the spirit has drained energy from the people who have dared to enter this house. But that's where Maya decides to step up, and as soon as Maya touches the door, it starts draining her energy, but soon the door throws up as Maya has a vast capacity of energy. So the door accepts its defeat and the doors open. She's literally Saitama at this point. As they enter the messy house, Maya and Asahi seem to find the house very appealing, even though it's a little messed up, but all it needs is a bit of cleaning and they could make it their home. Maya stares at Asahi with naughty eyes as he mentions that imagine the two of us would be living here in this giant house. At this point, I just hope they don't get to keep this house, but Asahi manages to change the topic as he asks Maya about her weaknesses. At first, Maya takes some time to think, but as she sees that Asahi seems very interested in knowing her weakness, she immediately reveals that her weakness is her little brother Asahi. She jokes that she wouldn't be able to escape if he corners her. Sweet home Alabama. Anyways, moments later, the evil spirit strikes Asahi with a chair that barely bumps his knees, to which Maya instantly gives him a healing potion. Maya just wishes to be called mommy so badly, and instantly after that Asahi gets hit by flying plates. So Maya again rushes to Asahi with advanced healing potions, and for the third time, Asahi gets hit with a fluffy kitten plushie. So Mommy Maya repeatedly rushes to him and gives him elixir to heal. No wonder why they went this broke. Maya starts to make fun of the spirit by calling his attacks cowardly and asking him to show his face and fight them properly. Something Asahi doesn't want, as we can guess by looking at his scared, sensitive princess posture. So the spirit laughs and appears in front of them while wearing a hoodie that looks like he's about to throw a diss track at them. As the evil spirit appears, Asahi jumps into Maya's melons and blames his knee for the reaction. Maya finds that appealing and sees it as her chance, so she squeezes Asahi's face tighter while calling him a dirty-minded brother. Well, they literally have a ghost standing in front of them now. The evil spirit then attacks them with a spirit bomb, but Maya counters that with a DBZ Kai Ha voice, which surprises the evil spirit itself. So Maya uses her hero dialogue that he messed with the wrong people and now he should prepare to die. He's literally a spirit. Maya is about to attack the spirit with some powerful attack, or at least it looks like a powerful attack as Asahi is reacting. To which Asahi warned her not to blow the building away as he starts to calculate on how he'll be lost in debt and would spend his life to repay it if Maya destroyed the house. I mean, the kid knows how reality works. The evil spirit senses Maya's power and reveals that her power is as strong as the power of the Demon King's 6 generals, the rulers of the underworld. The evil spirit suddenly attacks Maya and starts to possess her body. Maya seems to struggle. It turns out the spirit successfully manages to possess Maya's body and calls Maya the most powerful thing. The spirit seems very happy as he feels the flow of high powers running in Maya, whereas Asahi seems to be worried. I mean, without Maya, he's barely an MC. Asahi fears that if Maya ends up in the wrong hands could become the reason for massive destruction. She can literally destroy villages with one blow and could rule the world easily. Asahi tries to use his escaping skills, but as a useless character, he literally just teleports a few inches further. At this point, Maya, or the spirit in Maya's body, starts to walk towards Asahi slowly with dead eyes staring toward him. Asahi realizes that running would not be considered a solution, as the spirit will eventually catch him. So he tries to use the talk no jutsu on Maya to bring her back. But as soon as he starts, Kilmaria enters the room and sees both the Akusaba siblings looking serious. Now that's perfect timing. Asahi runs off to Kilmaria and explains the whole scenario. Kilmaria comes up with a plan and starts to mock the evil spirit inside Maya by saying she's disappointed in how she got possessed easily by a loser spirit. As Kilmaria is about to launch an attack on Maya, Asahi jumps to Kilmaria and asks her not to use destructive magic within the house premises. Kilmaria definitely reconciles, but she seems to blush as she asks Asahi to at least remove his hands from her melon. How do they even touch them accidentally? While Asahi removes his hand, Kilmaria calls him naughty, which makes sense, even though Asahi doesn't take the blame and calls it an act of nature. Anyway, back to the evil spirit, as she seems to be in her rage form after Kilmaria calls the spirit a nobody. Kilmaria finds Maya's strong aura impressive, and so she summons a drum. In between Maya and Kilmaria, it turns out Kilmaria is challenging the evil spirit to an arm wrestling match. That's literally the plan she came up with. Kilmaria manipulates the spirit into agreeing to the challenge by mocking him and calling him weak, which works somehow, and so the fight begins between them. Both of their potentials are so high and powerful that the house starts to shake up. Even moments pass by, yet no one seems to be losing, as both seem to have the same level of power, but instantly both start to tense up the match by using more of their power in the game, while shouting like Goku. The challenge gets so intense that the drum eventually breaks, and so the whole room gets filled with the aura of their power. Both of the girls seem to reach their limits, and they get knocked down at the same time, which led to a draw between them. All that hype for a draw. But then Maya stands up and attacks Asahi as he falls down. The spirit seems to hold him down. She's literally not even attacking, just holding him down. Asahi starts to shout at the evil spirit and refuses that he can't take away his precious sister, in some sort of dark HD animation, which eventually touches Maya's heart and she returns as the spirit starts to purify. But that doesn't stop Maya from holding Asahi. I had doubts about who was in control when the spirit was even inside her, as she still acts like she's being controlled by the evil spirit who wants to hug Asahi. Maya exposes that she wasn't even possessed in the first place. It was all an act of being controlled by the evil spirit. Even Kilmaria knew that and chose to play along. Asahi doesn't seem too happy about the prank they pulled on him. Though Maya liked the way Asahi tried to bring her back and apologizes for the prank, so they seem to return back to the guild to report the accomplishment of their quest and leave. Moments after, Kilmaria wakes up to her senses and finds herself alone in a confused state. The next day, Asahi and his thick sister Maya stand outside the same house. But instead of being a messy house, it's now a renovated house owned by our beloved main characters who are excited for their new home.
待てアサヒ、まずは高いところの埃を落とすんだ。アサヒ、いや見てないです。見ておく、見ておく。いや見てない。ちょっと。疲れが癒えますね。庶民の暮らしとはこういうもの。正面に立たないで。アサヒ氏、勇者様。
The next day, MC seems to be walking in a dungeon along with his sister Maya. He accidentally touches a button which unleashes a huge circle of boulders at them. Suddenly, Asahi starts to panic, but Maya crashes the boulder with a kick. She just used her physical power, not even magic. It cuts to the guild where Tanya assigns Asahi a quest in which he has to explore the dungeon in the Claudio Forest. The dungeon was recently discovered. Tanya reveals that the dungeon came visible after two powerful fighters had a clash which resulted in a hole in the ground. Yeah, just as you guessed, Maya and Kilmaria were the fighters. Asahi excitedly accepts this quest right after Tanya calls him a hero. Moments later, Asahi is walking in a forest while a strange beast seems to keep an eye on him. As the beast sees Maya staring into its eyes, the beast runs away. Asahi wanted to explore the dungeon by himself, but Maya joins him after she starts to follow him. He wouldn't survive a minute without Maya. As they start to walk into the dungeon, Asahi explains to Maya the history of the dungeon, though Maya doesn't understand a thing. Asahi acts like he's an expert when it comes to dungeons, where he unconsciously presses a button and an arrow is released toward him. Maya breaks that arrow. As Asahi tries to stand, he again triggers another trap. Maya falls under the ground with spikes, but she manages to save herself. As they walk further, Maya starts to feel cold, and that's where a group of skeletal knights appear. Maya is about to destroy them, but Asahi jumps into Maya to stop her. Maya falls to the ground while Asahi is laying above her. Maya finds that opportunity beneficial and tries to kiss him. Did she just ignore the group of the undead? Asahi stops Maya and tries to kill the undead by throwing a rock. The skeleton bats his rock. Did they just hit a home run with a sword and rock? Maya jumps in and destroys the undead without using her magic. Asahi seems to reach the end of the dungeon where he sees an empty chair. Behind the chair, a bunch of small and cute Kaiser bears appears. Asahi fears that the other adventurers might kill these bears if they stayed here. Asahi decides to tell Tanya that the walls of the dungeon are weak and it might collapse. So the dungeon would stay abandoned and the Kaiser bears would live happily. On their way back, Maya comes up with a theory that if two people face dangers together, then their chances of falling in love are much greater. So many men in this world, yet Maya wants her little brother. Asahi gets irritated by the way Maya treats him like a kid. Asahi reveals that he's just hungry and wants to go home. Maya rushes to the jungle to bring some food. As Maya leaves him alone, a pack of the same weird beasts surrounds Asahi. Asahi manages to run away by using his escape and all-out sprint. As Asahi is walking in the village, a mysterious girl calls him and asks for directions. As the girl comes near Asahi, he starts to feel a bad aura. Asahi uses it to escape and falls back. Asahi is about to pull out his sword and start a fight. But that girl reveals herself, and it's none other than Kilmaria disguised as a human. Kilmaria seems to be interested in knowing more about humans. She asks Asahi to wander her around the village. Kilmaria gets so excited when they explore the village. Kilmaria offers Asahi to become a devil. He will gain useful powers. Moreover, Kilmaria asks him to leave Maya and go with her. However, Asahi rejects her offer as he decides to choose family first. Their relationship is for sure going fast and furious. Later, Asahi explains to Tanya about the dungeon. Kilmaria is holding Asahi's arm, which irritates Tanya. Tanya leaves as soon as she hands the reward to Asahi. Bro just became the harem king. Moments later, Asahi and Kilmaria go to eat something. Kilmaria eats the food and instantly tries to leave as she has no idea about the concept of money. So Asahi uses all of his rewards to pay the bill. As they walk into the village, Asahi lectures Kilmaria about the terms of the village. Asahi meets Sieg's son on his way. Sieg feels a strange evil aura as he shakes hands with Kilmaria. Asahi doesn't reveal Kilmaria's identity and calls her a regular friend. Sieg seems to be scared, and so he takes leave. Kilmaria and Asahi decide to pull a prank on Maya by acting like a couple. Maya instantly recognizes Kilmaria due to her aura, and so the prank fails. Maya and Kilmaria are about to start a fight inside their house, but Asahi stops them. Maya has cooked so many dishes for Asahi, as he mentioned being hungry before, though Asahi just had a meal with Kilmaria. Kilmaria uses her magic that would make Asahi feel hungry again so he wouldn't break his sister's heart. As Kilmaria is about to join them, Maya stops her and asks her to leave. Poor Kilmaria, after what she's done, I feel bad for her. Maya calls her a pet, but Asahi feels bad for her, so asks Maya to let her join them. And so the three of them eat dinner together. It starts with a child named Suffy. Suffy receives a magic wand from her mother, who tells her that she'll one day meet the exalted hero. The mother explains that the exalted hero would be brave and strong. That description doesn't match our MC. It cuts to a scene where Asahi is fighting a wild wolf. Asahi knocks the fighting wolf down, but as he walks past it, he encounters another wolf. This time, the wolf seems more wilder and huger. The wild wolf is about to attack Asahi, but Maya jumps in to save the day. Maya uses earthquake technique, and the giant wolf falls into a deep pit. Maya notices a scratch on Asahi's shoulder and pulls out the double EX potion. It's just a scratch. She asks Asahi to lick the potion or she'll do it for him. Asahi escapes and teleports to the kingdom. Here, he encounters a group of rude people who ask him to move away from their way. Asahi tries to walk away but bumps into a girl who falls. The girl turns out to be Suffy. Suffy notices Asahi's wound on his shoulder. She uses magic and heals the wound. Both of them exchange names and Suffy walks away to her group. Suffy's group is going on a dungeon hunt. They look down on Suffy and claim that they only need her for the dungeon quest. As Asahi starts to walk away, his sister catches up. Maya starts to lick his wound but notices that it's all healed up. Moments later, Asahi and his sister arrive at the guild where Tanya looks worried. Tanya reveals that a group of people went to the dungeon, but they didn't return. Tanya asks Asahi to go and save them, the group that Sophie is part of. It cuts to Suffy running away from the dungeon and claiming that all her teammates got eaten by the monsters. A monster appears behind Suffy, and right when it's about to eat her, Asahi and Maya arrive and save Suffy and destroy the monster. Suffy passes out, and when her eyes open, she sees her groupmates blacked out and covered with saliva. Suffy gives credit to Asahi for saving them and calls him the exalted hero. I'm pretty sure Maya did the whole work. Asahi and Maya are having lunch at a pub, and that's where Suffy appears out of nowhere. She asks Asahi to let her join their party. Asahi finds Suffy cute and useful, so he decides to take Suffy in. Suffy's old party arrives at the same pub and starts to blame Suffy for their failed quest. Suffy gets pissed off and calls them a worthless cannon fodder party. She looks so innocent and a shy type of girl. Asahi gets frightened while Suffy starts to point out the weak points of her old teammates. Suffy immediately resigns them as she's now part of Asahi's group. Suffy tells her old mates that she has no further use for them. And we thought the rude group was using Sophie for their benefit. Asahi freaks out after looking at the personality trait of Suffy. Asahi expected Suffy to be more of a modest and comforting type of girl. Suffy's old teammates get pissed off and decide to start a fight. That's when Maya throws the jar of pepper to create smoke. Maya uses the advantage of the pepper's smoke and knocks those three people out. As Suffy opens her eyes, she gets impressed, but notices that Asahi and Maya have left the pub. Asahi explains to Maya that Suffy would result as a troublemaker if she joins them. Later, Asahi arrives at the guild for another quest. Asahi asks Tanya for an easy quest. Well, it's probably because Maya isn't around him right now. Tanya hands him the quest where he has to collect killer bee honey. It cuts to Maya and Kilmaria confronting each other to start a fight. They give the Naruto and Sasuke vibe. Maya and Kilmaria begin to fight while holding a bowl and a fry pan. It turns out the fight started because Kilmaria doesn't eat green peppers. They literally destroyed a forest because of that. Anyways, back to Asahi. Tanya claims that the quest would be a lot more difficult without a healer because the killer bees are venomous. Suffy immediately pops in front of Asahi and decides to join him in the quest. Moments later, both of them arrive where the bees are. Suffy constantly heals Asahi while he defeats those killer bees. Suffy asks Asahi why he lacks power while fighting the bees. Asahi covers it up by saying that he isn't giving his full potential. As they continue their quest, Sophie gathers a huge group of bees and leads them to Asahi. No wonder why he calls her troublemaker. Before Asahi could start fighting the bees, a huge boulder dropped on the bees. Asahi seems confused while Sophie gets impressed as she thinks Asahi caused this. As their quest gets completed, Sophie takes the honey jars and leaves to submit them to the guild. Maya and Kilmaria appear in front of Asahi. Turns out, the boulder was thrown accidentally by Maya, so the three of them walk home. Sophie seems to be waiting outside the guild with the reward for Asahi. The next morning when Asahi wakes up, he notices that Sophie is still waiting for him outside the guild. This episode begins with MC's childhood memory of being attacked by a dog, though Maya once again starts to protect. However, as the dog jumps to bite MC, Maya suddenly comes forward and tries to hold it. Moreover, she asks MC to run away and protect himself, though MC doesn't move an inch, as he seems to freeze due to panicking. At first, the dog seems wild when he comes closer to Maya. However, it turns out that the dog was just trying to lick them all this time. Therefore, Maya calms down and becomes friendly with the dog, and the dog leaves as its owner arrives. At this point, Maya's clothes get covered with mud, so she fears that she might get in trouble with her parents. Surprisingly, Maya notices that Asahi is crying due to fear, so she instantly runs towards him and tries to calm him down. Turns out, MC is crying because he wasn't able to protect her. Well, that did age well. Then it cuts to the present time, where Tanya brings another quest. She reveals that this time it's the Demon King's monsters, who seems to be heading toward a remote village in the northwest. Therefore, she tells MC that it's his time to shine. As they are burning the village, a group of teenagers are shown at the mountain. Turns out these teenagers are the survivors of the village. Furthermore, they are pissed at the monsters for ruining their village. However, the village elder reveals that there are some adventurers in the village, though the village elder expects them to just slow the monster down. I guess he forgot that they are Asahis of this show. The elder villager vows that he'll never forget heroes like Asahi and Maya. Anyways, the monsters are destroying the village. Moreover, one monster even introduces himself. He claims to be the servant of Giganto, the 100 Beast. He is one of the Demon King's 6 generals, and he calls himself Stelopeth the Cyclops, though Maya interrupts and defeats Stelopeth with a single attack. Therefore, the rest of the monsters get scared. Moreover, they retreat while calling Maya a monster. Look how the tables have turned. Though Maya and MC notice a bunch of monsters who seem to be scared and are slow enough to retreat, so MC decides to slaughter these weaklings. But as he draws his sword, those monsters start to dance to convince MC he wouldn't kill them, though that doesn't seem to work. And as he walks forward to strike, he somehow starts to feel nauseous. Therefore, he withdraws his sword. However, MC surprisingly jumps at Maya and confesses his love for her. This pleases Maya as she feels like MC finally acknowledges her love. Therefore, Maya jumps in to hug MC, but unfortunately, he feels on his head. Hence, he returns to his consciousness. Though Maya starts to get closer so she could kiss him, so MC asks Maya to step away and finds this situation embarrassing. And that surprises Maya as she gets confused, because a moment ago MC was acting pure and angelic according to Maya. On the other hand, Asahi finally solves the mystery of why he was behaving differently. Furthermore, he reveals that those monsters' dance induces a confusion-type effect, so MC decides to take those monsters down before they dance again. though Maya seems to have other plans, so she stops MC from striking at them. And so, she threatens those monsters to show that dance to MC. Lust has no boundaries. Therefore, as Maya calls MC, those monsters again start to dance in front of MC. Hence, Asahi once again loses his sense and becomes the sister-loving Asahi. Moreover, Maya starts to hug and pat Asahi. On the other hand, MC starts to compliment Maya. As a result, Maya's nosebleed pushes MC away. Therefore, he again falls on his head and returns to his original form. And once again, those monsters start to dance and manipulate MC. This time, Maya lays MC's head on her lap as she pats him. And surprisingly, MC holds Maya's hand and proposes to her as his bride. Therefore, Maya starts to fantasize about their wedding where Siegfried is the priest. And it makes Maya cry with happiness. However, a demon suddenly arrives and Maya snaps back to reality. He claims to Sir Giganto of the 100 Beasts, though Maya seems to be pissed off since he ruined her happy moments. So she asks the sister-loving MC to go and hide while she deals with the monster. But surprisingly this time, MC walks in front of Maya to protect her. Is it safe to assume that the unconscious MC is way braver than the original? The monster starts to laugh as MC threatens him to stay away. So it pisses off Asahi and he throws a rock at him, which eventually doesn't even reach the monster. Therefore, Asahi starts to cry while the monster continues to mock him, though we see a glimpse of a meteor falling. Anyways, back to the situation. At this point, the monster had enough, so he decides to finish off MC while he is crying. Moreover, the monster reveals to them that the only person who could oppose him would be the hero that defeated Stellapeth. And as he strikes a punch toward Asahi, Maya jumps in and stops his punch with one hand. Furthermore, she seems to be pissed off at the monsters, as he mocked MC's bravery. Therefore, she throws the monster into the sky. Moreover, she attacks him with her new move called the Big Sis Flare of Rage. Did she just came ham-hunt the monster? Hence, she destroys the monster. Though Maya notices her little brother crying, which eventually worries Maya, so she asks MC if he's hurt or scared. However, Asahi reveals that he's crying because once again he failed to protect Maya. Moreover, he starts to call himself a weak coward, so Maya comforts MC, as she reveals that MC is a kind person who always helps those in need. Therefore, she calls MC a brave and cool person, which motivates Asahi to work more hard and become stronger. Furthermore, MC tells Maya that he'll become strong enough to protect her, since he loves his sister so much. At this point, Maya feels like she's living a dream. She advises MC to not rush into anything and always should rely on his big sister. As their wholesome moment was going on, that small meteor fell straight into MC's head, and alas, MC finally returns to his original form. However, this time those monsters even couldn't help Maya, since her attack destroyed them too. So once again, Maya gets left in despair, mostly because she can't bring MC's childish form back again. Anyways, MC finally wakes up and sees the battlefield being destroyed. Moreover, he doesn't seem to find his sister, though he gets shocked as he looks back. Turns out Maya has started to dance with the hope to hypnotize Asahi, which definitely doesn't work. And so both of them start to walk home, while Asahi obtains the meteorite fragment. Though Maya requests MC to say "I love you, Maya" for once, but MC instantly declines her offer. So Maya starts to act dramatically while crying, which confuses MC. Though MC walks towards Maya and pats her head, moreover, he admits that he always relies on her. He even looks up to Maya, and so Maya gets happy as she jumps on MC. Furthermore, she starts to like the original MC more than the hypnotized one. And so she decides to make hamburger steak for MC once they reach home. The next day, as MC walks inside the guild, he notices that Tanya is absent today, so her colleagues reveal that she is on a date today, but surprisingly MC looks shocked about it. Therefore, he starts to wander around the town where he finds a girl, though MC doesn't seem to recognize her. So the girl reveals that she's none other than Tanya herself. Tanya looks way more attractive and confident without her uniform. Therefore, MC asks Tanya about her date. Turns out that the girls at the guild lied to MC, since Tanya took her day off to spend time with her little brother Roy. though Roy seems to be shy around strangers while Tanya is quite the opposite. Furthermore, Tanya reveals that her brother likes to hear adventure tales, so MC introduces himself to the kid. Turns out Roy is a fan of Asahi's adventures, and so he starts to compliment MC for defeating the Demon King's general. Poor kid doesn't know that it was all Maya's doing. Anyways, Tanya reveals that she needs an escort who would travel with her to the next town, so Roy asks MC to be their escort and accompany them. Though MC doesn't feel sure about that, since he's afraid that he'll get exposed if they encounter any monsters. At this point, MC starts to overthink what Maya will say after he gets caught. Furthermore, it would break Roy's heart since he looks up to MC. But Asahi couldn't refuse Roy's request, and so he becomes their escort. So after some moments, they finally leave for their journey. On their way, Tanya thanks Asahi to accompany them, to which he reveals that he tagged along because he couldn't say no to Roy. At this point, MC feels relieved, since he calculated the odds of strong monsters appearing on the road. Though moments later their carriage stops suddenly. Turns out a wyvern appeared in front of them. Furthermore, the wyvern destroys the carriage, while MC manages to save Tanya and Roy. At this point, MC gets worried about the situation. But on the other hand, Tanya seems to be relieved as she believes that MC will handle the situation. So to protect his dignity, MC draws his sword. Furthermore, he manages to strike the wyvern. However, his attack barely damages the wyvern, so MC throws a rock at the wyvern though he eats it. But the wyvern strikes at MC with his fire breath. The wyvern suddenly explodes. Turns out that the rock he swallowed interrupted his blast, hence the wyvern accidentally exploded himself, and so MC saves the day. However, Roy starts to cry for not being able to help, so MC explains to Roy that he was the same as him. He still is like Roy. Anyways, since their carriage is destroyed, they decide to walk together. Though the episode ends with Maya finishing off the wyvern, Asahi looks tired due to his tough quest. Moreover, he was once again dependent on Maya and Kilmaria. It's been 8 episodes, and this guy still can't manage anything by himself. Though Kilmaria seems to take all the credit since she had the final blow. Furthermore, she flexes that she got leveled up from the quest. The same goes for Asahi. Though MC is still nowhere near Maya or Kilmaria. However, he seems to be happy because MC had unlocked the skill of light magic, so now he can use the light affinity technique. Though it confuses Maya because she has no idea about light magic. Hence, Kilmaria explains that 8 types of energies are split in the world. She further explains that the energies are fire, wind, ice, light, water, earth, lightning, and dark. MC reveals that light affinity is the symbol of holiness and righteousness. He reveals that tons of main characters achieve such affinity. Therefore, he feels excited about unlocking such affinity. That's when people in the village start to shout. Turns out a raging bull has gotten loose, though MC decides to deal with it. He finds this situation as a perfect opportunity to test his skill, but as he activates his light magic's first aid, a strange aura activates around MC as the bull approaches him. Therefore, he activates his holy knight towards the raging bull. Though a light flashes throughout the whole area and everyone seems to get blinded by it, turns out his magic has no power but to flashbang his surroundings. Bro finally unlocked something, though it turned out to be a useless flashbang. So moments later, MC couldn't hold his tears from falling, since his new power can't even stop a raging bull. Though Maya tries to calm him down, so she tells Asahi that his power isn't useless at all. He can use his light magic to replace a lantern. Moreover, it'll reduce their electricity expenses too. Not sure if that's going to help or make the situation way worse. Anyways, they finally arrive at the quest location. MC reveals that this building is a criminal clan's hideout, so their quest is to clear the building. Maya reveals the name of the clan, which is the Dark Crisis. As they are standing outside the base, a bunch of clan members confronts MC for standing in front of their base. Moreover, they threaten him to go away, but Maya and Kilmaria knock them out. Furthermore, they enter the building with rage, but weirdly MC interrupts Maya and Kilmaria. Moreover, he reveals that Tanya warned them to be careful. since these criminal forges adventurers' rank badges and sell them to bad guys. Therefore, Tanya hates such criminals and adventurers who fake their rank. In that case, MC should be in jail. Moreover, she reveals that the quest came from the noble family who finances the guild operations. She even reveals that 2 clans do such illegal activity. Though MC is asked to deal with one of them for now, but Maya and Kilmaria already finished the task while MC was in his flashback. Furthermore, this quest resulted in child's play for Maya and Kilmaria, though the leader of the Dark Crisis then arrives, so MC introduces himself to Lambert, the leader. However, Lambert reveals that he also belongs to the Ogre class. Furthermore, he is known as the Lighting Strike Lambert, to which MC starts to lecture him for committing such crimes with blessed power. He further lectures Lambert to become an adventurer and should help other people. However, Lambert seems to be pissed at the guild for hogging all the profit. Therefore, Lambert attacks MC with his Enchant Thunder, which surprises MC. Meanwhile, surprisingly, Sophie also arrives at the situation to serve MC. Moreover, she even brought a crowd to see the valiant hero in action. At this point, MC is doomed, since he can't involve Maya or Kilmaria because he would get exposed in front of the crowd. Anyways, Lambert starts to strike MC while he dodges them. However, Maya uses her magic and breaks Lambert's sword, so MC finds this opportunity and strikes in with his sword. And just like that, MC knocks the leader of the Dark Crisis out, so the crowd start to cheer at the valiant hero. On the other hand, Maya jumps at Asahi and rewards him with a hug for his fight. Maya is literally rewarding herself at this point, whereas Kilmaria realizes that the other clan would also be weak like this one. Then it cuts to a girl in a maid outfit, who seems to be wiping the other clan all alone. But then the leader of the Overdose clan arrives. She recognizes him as the bludgeoning baron known as Popinski. And as Popinski strikes at the maid girl, her friend hops in the fight and stops Popinski. Though that blonde girl reveals that she's a member of the House of Brigandine. She further reveals her name, which is Gloria. Moreover, she knocks Popinski with her graceful strike, which scares the rest of the clan members as they start to retreat. Furthermore, the girl in the maid outfit turns out to be Gloria's servant, so she asks her servant Kuon about who's in charge of the other elimination mission, to which Kuon mentions MC's name. However, Gloria finds MC suspicious since he leveled up way faster than her. Therefore, she desires to have a duel with MC to acknowledge his skills. Oh boy, that doesn't sound well. Then it cuts back to MC, who seems to visit the village that he saved from the 3 orc brothers. Moreover, he is getting treated by the villagers as a sign of appreciation. Though MC does realize that Maya should be the one getting such rewards, since she was the one to free this village from the orcs. However, Maya declined MC's offer to tag along, since she wants Asahi to receive the whole credit. Moreover, the lady reveals that MC's name is well known in the royal capital now. Though, as the village elders arrive, everyone starts to beg MC for help. Turns out the village is once again getting targeted by the orcs. Furthermore, they reveal the reason for calling MC at the village, so having a feast was just a lie. They intended to ask MC to get rid of those orcs. Furthermore, they explain that the village is way too poor to ask the guild for help. Now it makes sense why Lambert hated the guild, though MC doesn't mind helping them, but is scared since Maya isn't here to accompany him. Unfortunately, the army of orcs even arrives in the meantime. Hence, MC has no other option but to face these orcs by himself. An orc confronts MC. He claims to be the step-older brother of the 3 orc brothers. Moreover, he seeks vengeance for their brother. Therefore, he strikes and throws MC away. At this point, MC seems helpless as he witnesses the villagers getting harassed by the orcs. But then suddenly, Kuon joins the fight along with Gloria. Therefore, both of them manage to destroy the army orcs along with their leader. Though as the fight ends, Gloria starts to accuse MC of having a fake rank. She starts to humiliate MC for just standing still at the war, but a kid from the village opposes Gloria for accusing MC. However, that pisses Gloria even more, since she realizes that MC is even deceiving such innocent kids. Therefore, she asks MC for a duel. And surprisingly, MC accepts her offer and draws his sword out. However, Kwon pushes Gloria back as she senses an attack. At this point, Gloria assumes that it was MC who caused this damage to the ground. However, Asahi is also as confused as Gloria about the attack. Though MC covers his eyes as he notices that the attack caused Gloria's panties to tear away. It embarrasses Gloria, so MC tries to blame Kwon for pushing her like that. But Gloria doesn't seem to buy that. Furthermore, she challenges MC to a duel in front of everyone at an arena, where she would ascertain MC's full strength, though it freaks MC off since he has a high chance of getting exposed. Moreover, we see Maya spectating MC's situation from a distance. Now that attack makes sense. So as days passed by, finally the day of the duel arrived, where MC seems to be stressed out in the waiting room, since everyone has high hopes for MC. Moreover, Tanya is even bringing Roy to witness MC's true power. Even posters have been distributed throughout the nation for their fight. Furthermore, Maya reveals that Gloria is the daughter of a patron of the guild. Moreover, she mentions that Gloria is a Golem-class adventurer, which is considered as the top 3 ranks. Maya tries to calm MC down as she reveals that she'll be helping him from the shadows. Let's see how far he gets with his lies. Anyways, the fight is about to begin as both of the warriors arrive inside the arena. Moreover, Kwon stands next to Kilmeria and Maya to keep an eye on them. Hence, as the fight begins, Gloria starts to rush at Asahi with her sword. And at this point, MC can't do anything but dodge all her attacks, though he seems to be curious since he isn't receiving any aid from Maya. Even Gloria mocks MC for not striking. Moreover, Kwon draws her sword out as Kilmeria intends to interrupt the fight, though Maya stops her before she could cause any problems. Looks like Maya has high hopes for Asahi, as she claims that MC always manages to surpass his expectations. Anyways, Gloria attacks MC with her graceful strike, though MC again manages to dodge her attack, which confuses her. However, at this point, MC is trying to find Gloria's weakness. That's where he remembers that Gloria thinks that MC caused the attack back at the village. And due to that, Gloria falls back whenever MC uplifts his sword and makes a specific posture. So Gloria again strikes toward MC with her elegant split buster. Though this time MC uses flash while Gloria is in midair. And so MC finds this opportunity and points his sword at Gloria while she gets blinded. Hence MC gets declared as the winner of the duel. Intelligence is more powerful than a sword, though it impresses Gloria when MC reveals that he doesn't attack girls. Therefore, she admits her defeat and runs while blushing. The episode starts with drunk Kilmeria hugging MC. Moreover, she asks him to pour her a drink before he leaves, so MC tells her that he has to go on a quest. Though she ignores his word and asks MC to drink with her all night. That's when Maya walks in between and throws Kilmeria again. Furthermore, Maya asks Kilmeria to stop pestering MC. She even defines herself as a useless being for drinking so early in the morning. Though that doesn't affect Kilmeria. She comes back to Maya by saying that she is a demon, not a human. Even MC finds her comeback so weak. Anyways, Maya and MC take their leave for the quest, while leaving the house in Kilmeria's care. Furthermore, Maya advises Kilmeria to limit her alcohol intake to a single bottle a day. However, Kilmeria starts to whine as she mentions that she also wants to join MC for the quest. However, both of them decide to leave Kilmeria back at the house and leave. On their way, Maya reveals that she does feel anxious, since the house is in the care of a drunk person, so she decides to complete the quest quickly. Anyways, as MC is revealing the quest to Maya, a person is shown to run towards them. However, MC explains that they will search for golden flowers in the depths of the Twelksday Plain, and that's when he hears a girl shouting the name Exalted Hero, though MC instantly recognizes the girl as he looks worried, since that carefree voice that sounds innocent always brings trouble with her. Hence, Sophie is running at MC while she explains that Tanya exposed Asahi's gathering quest. Therefore, she asks MC to let her accompany them in an energetic manner, though it ruins MC's mood because he expected to have a peaceful quest today. Moreover, Maya suggests MC let her in. Since it's a search quest, having more people would be beneficial for them. Furthermore, Sophie reveals that she's an expert at finding items. I mean, she always successfully manages to find MC. Anyways, the trio seems to be walking inside the 12th day forest, where they get confused since there are two routes. Moreover, Maya tells MC that they don't have time to do a leisurely search. Therefore, Sophie suggests splitting into two groups. Maya would go on her own while Sophie would accompany Asahi. Though MC doesn't want to go with Sophie because she always manages to bring new trouble for them. But in the meantime, Maya doesn't feel safe leaving MC alone. Then Maya's spidey sense feels something, though she ignores it and decides to group with Sophie, while MC would wander alone. Hence the girls leave while Maya tells Sophie tales about MC's childhood, whereas MC starts to wander alone, although MC feels relaxed by spending time while being alone. However, a goblin jumps in front of MC. Even so, MC doesn't feel scared since he finds the goblin weak. And as MC draws his sword, another goblin jumps to attack MC from behind. Though strangely, a purplish flame appears from the sky and burns the goblin down. At this point, MC seems to be confused, but that's when the other goblin rushes to attack MC, and weirdly he bursts out on his own. Turns out it was Kill Maria who killed those goblins. Anyways, she explains that she was just walking off her alcohol, so she ended up in the forest of 12th day. Hence, she helped Asahi, so MC thanked Maya for helping him. Furthermore, he now understands why Maya let him go by himself. It was because she already sensed Kill Maria's presence. Even so, Kill Maria tried to suppress her presence, but it creeps MC out since he just realized that Maya can even hear someone whispering miles away. Moreover, this place enhances Kill Maria's memory of the time she first met MC, though at that time he was attacked by a bear. Furthermore, Kill Maria reveals that before meeting MC, fighting was all the reason for living in Kill Maria. However, now she has changed, though MC feels worried since Kill Maria is a top-ranked officer in Demon King's army, because she might get in trouble with her superiors. But that doesn't affect Kill Maria, since she independently lives her life the way she wants. However, both of them hear the sound of Pepo screaming for help in the forest, so MC couldn't control himself as she rushes towards the sound while Kill Maria stops him. Weirdly, as MC walks into the woods, it instantly becomes nighttime. Moreover, MC manages to find a small village, though everyone in the village seems to be knocked out while their mouth seems to be frothing. The village looks more like a zombie land. MC tries to reach out to the wasted villager, though they seem to give no response. That's where MC hears a laugh. So he witnesses a person taking people's souls. So MC draws his sword and approaches that person. He turns out to be a necromancer as he summons some skeletons to deal with MC. Anyways, MC manages to destroy some of his dead, which impressed the necromancer as he jumps towards MC to take his soul. At this point, MC's soul almost pulls out from his body, but Kill Maria arrives in the meantime and throws the necromancer away. Moreover, the necromancer recognizes Kill Maria as the Demon King's general, so he asks for a truce since he serves one of the Demon King's 6 generals, Woodva-sama, and introduces himself as the wizard known as Malvicanth. Moreover, he calls human beings a creature no better than bugs in front of Kill Maria. Bro thinks she's going to get impressed. Hence, Malvicanth asks Kill Maria to join him so both of them could march to the royal capital, though MC interrupts Malvicanth and starts to defend Kill Maria's character. Furthermore, he reveals how Kill Maria has helped humans in the past and calls her honest and kind. He even calls Kill Maria an incredibly good person, which eventually makes her blush, though Malvicanth interrupts MC and calls it idiocy. Furthermore, he asks Kill Maria to ignore this ignorant chump and join him. Hence, Kill Maria strikes and kills Malvicanth with her flame lance for not watching his tongue. So the very next day, the abandoned souls that Malvicanth had trapped finally return to their owners, though MC again worries about Kill Maria, since she killed her ally. However, she doesn't seem to care about it. Moreover, she reveals that she can't spare someone who would badmouth her little brother. Anyways, both of them then unite with Maya and Sophie, so Maya starts to analyze MC's whole body to see if he's hurt. Though Maya and Sophie manage to find the mythical golden flower, then it cuts to the Brigandine castle where Quan wakes Gloria up. However, Kwon asks Gloria to keep her guard up because they might get attacked soon. However, Gloria doesn't take her seriously because she thinks no one can dare to ambush them. Anyways, Gloria reveals that it's time to implement their plan. Gloria will handle as many attacks as she could, and on the other hand, Kwon would provide support if the situation gets out of control. Then we see Tanya complimenting Asahi for defeating Malvicanth the Necromancer. The amount of undeserving credits he receives is way too high. Furthermore, Tanya reveals that MC will be promoted to Golem class anytime soon. Though Tanya asks for a treat from MC when he gets promoted, while Gloria seems to be spying on MC from behind the window. And as MC starts to walk into the town, he notices Gloria's hair as she tries to hide. So Gloria walks in front of MC and says that she feels honored by the fact that MC remembers her. However, Gloria starts to hesitate and blush way too much, so she calls Kwon to assist her. At this point, Gloria and Kwon start to whisper while MC is just standing there. But without wasting any time, Kwon tells MC that Gloria came all the way just to see him, so she pulls Kwon back. However, MC then reveals that he understands what is going on. Gloria starts to turn red. So MC reveals that Gloria still suspects him of falsifying his rank. Bruh, both of them are equally dumb. Whereas Gloria hides her true intentions and agrees with MC's reasoning. Anyways, both the girls take MC to the bewildering forest. They reveal that adventurers have been reported to be missing in this forest. Hence, Kwon and Gloria agree to take this quest. Moreover, they wanted MC to assist them to check if his rankings are valid or not. However, Gloria whispers to Kwon. She reveals that the purpose of bringing MC to the forest is to have a date. Besides, she intends to spend time alone with him, and the forest seems to be the perfect area. Did she just forget Kwon's existence? Kwon further advises Gloria to show her cute side. Moreover, Kwon tells Gloria to ask MC to hold hands so they don't get lost. Well, that doesn't go as planned, because Gloria literally smashes MC's hand as she forcefully tries to hold them. Furthermore, Kwon asks her to cling to MC as she acts to be scared. And once again, Gloria crushes MC's body as she tries to cling. Moreover, Gloria even waves MC's head by holding his hair to remove a leaf that fell on him. At this point, MC feels exhausted as he continues to walk with them. Moreover, he asks Kwon if she finds it hard living with such energetic women. However, Kwon finds her situation similar to MC's since he has Maya and Kilmeria. However, Gloria starts to feel jealous as she notices MC and Kwon getting along. Anyways, MC activates his flash as they get deeper inside the forest. Though they find a bunch of adventurers being wrapped up by vines. That's when the tree monster known as Trent appears. It instantly starts to attack them. Though Gloria asks Kwon to rescue the missing adventurers, so MC and Gloria agree to go against Trent. However, Gloria gets distracted by MC and so the tree grabs her. However, Gloria notices that MC and Kwon aren't stepping forward to help her. Instead, they are looking at her with awkward expressions. That's when she realizes that her bottom is exposed due to Trent. Hence, Gloria gets in a rage, so she strikes her noble rose blade. Furthermore, she annihilates the tree as she tears it into pieces, like her panties. And so, Gloria completes the quest and saves many survivors. Though she looks sad due to her first date not going pretty well. So Kwon cheers her up as she reveals that MC will never forget such memories. Specifically the exposing part. Early in the morning, we see Asahi sleeping peacefully. Suddenly his eyes open and he sees Kwon staring dead into his eyes. Asahi almost had a heart attack, so he asks Kwon about what she is doing here. To which she replies that Maya sent Kwon to Asahi's bedroom since Asahi has a routine of waking early in the morning. Turns out, Kwon wants Asahi to help her move some boxes to her carriage. As they finish their work, the princess finally makes her entry. That's where Kwon reveals that Gloria is literally running away from her house. Moreover, the princess has decided to live on her own. However, they get interrupted by Gloria's Sebastian. He immediately orders the princess to stop this madness and return to her room. Moreover, Sebastian uses his strings and blocks Gloria's sword while surrounding her. I had the vibe that the Alfred-looking guy would actually be a badass. At this point, Asahi becomes a fawn of Sebastian. However, Gloria starts to struggle. but she finally manages to throw Sebastian away towards the pool while cutting his strings. Man had swag, though it didn't last and in front of the muscle brain princess. Though that's not it. Sebastian walks back and requests the princess to stay. Moreover, he reveals that Gloria's father is extremely worried for her, since her father wants Gloria to curb her adventurous work and behave like the daughter of a noble family. At this point, Sebastian asks Kwon to help him to stop Gloria. However, Kwon reveals that she is only loyal to Gloria, hence she'll do as her lady pleases. Therefore, the stubborn princess and Kwon take their leave along with Asahi. On their way, Gloria seems to be embarrassed, so Asahi asks her if she's okay. Hence, Gloria reveals that she feels embarrassed because Asahi has witnessed her family issues. So Asahi explains that it's okay to have family issues, even Asahi has them. All his sister does is get touchy with her brother. Anyways, Gloria starts to blame her father for being too overprotective of her. So Gloria wants to prove her father wrong by living peacefully without relying on him or the family's name. Somehow, Asahi starts to relate himself to Gloria's situation, so he decides to help Gloria as much as he can. Moments later, as they arrive at their destination, at this point, we all thought she would start from scratch. Turns out, it is Brigandine's family villa. It pisses off Asahi, since he thought that Gloria wouldn't use her family on her new start. However, Asahi then helps them move their stuff in. However, Gloria finds this situation romantic. She even starts to fantasize about this situation as a married couple moving into their new house. So Asahi falls off since both of them were carrying a table. He ends up with a nosebleed. Therefore, Asahi takes out a handkerchief from one of the boxes. Though after focusing, Asahi realizes that the piece of cloth that he's holding is Gloria's panties and not a handkerchief. On the other hand, we see Sebastian standing outside the villa with another person. Moreover, he finds Asahi suspicious, since he says that Asahi is deceiving the princess. The other person turns out to be an adventurer with the rank of dragon class. Furthermore, his name is Tigga Hildebrand, who's 42 years old. So Sebastian hired Tigga to bring back the princess. Hence, the tiger boy gets hyped for his task. If Zorro and Wolverine had a child, it would look like Tigga. Additionally, Sebastian asks Tigga to make sure that the Asahi receives some pain. But that's where the legendary Maya makes her entry. She seems to be rather pissed off. Therefore, Tigga makes an excuse of having a stomachache and both of them run away. While Maya whispers some words to Kwon, Maya's look is enough to make someone retreat. Turns out Maya doesn't like those people being overprotective of the princess. On the other hand, Gloria keeps treating Asahi with food, even though his stomach is about to explode. She served Asahi around 12 cups of tea. Thankfully, Kwon arrives in time and stops her. Moreover, Kwon suggests Gloria to start having conversations with MC, though the princess doesn't seem to be good at that. Therefore, Kwon tells Gloria to offer Asahi to move in with them. And once again, Gloria starts to fantasize about some wild stuff. Hence, Kwon advises the princess to form a clan and use this mansion as their base. It then cuts to Tanya having her lunch while Asahi is sitting next to her. So Asahi asks about the details of forming a clan. Tanya reveals that the guild would be happy if he formed a clan, since a successful clan becomes the face of the guild. While they were discussing, Siegfried walks in and joins their conversation. He makes the situation embarrassing by asking Asahi if he's on a date with Tanya. Anyways, Siegfried immediately leaves after he mentions that he has to cook some leftovers. So Tanya asks Asahi if they have decided on a name for their clan, since it's important to have a name if they want to register it. Moreover, Tanya reveals that forming a clan has its own perks, because some quests require a clan, and like always, Sufi manages to find Asahi. She even eavesdrops on their conversation. Hence, she requests Asahi to let her in on their clan. They didn't even decide the name. Moreover, Sufi promises the exalted hero that she'll prove to be useful. She then starts to butter Asahi, though it makes Tanya quite jealous as she notices Sophie being close to her. Anyways, Sophie reveals her status, which she turns out to be on level 27. Sophie has been wandering around on quests and healing people up. At this point, Asahi gets surprised to see Sophie on such a level. Well, to be precise, Asahi feels jealous when he sees Sophie's graph being bigger than his, and that's where Tanya asks Asahi to show his graph. which freaks him out because he would get exposed. So he covers it up by acting cool and claiming that a hero's status isn't something to show off. And however, the girl buys that and gets impressed by his answer. The number of times this guy covered himself from being exposed. Moreover, Asahi spots Gloria wandering around the town while buying groceries. However, Gloria notices that Sophie is holding Asahi's arm. Therefore, her eyes get wet and she leaves in anger. At this point, Asahi has no clue of what just happened. Therefore, Kwon explains that Gloria has no common sense or the ability to live on her own. If Kwon doesn't look after her, the princess would end up dying. Those are some bold words for a maid. Furthermore, she explains that Gloria has no single friend that she could depend upon, so she asks Asahi to become Gloria's friend. It would cheer the princess up along with Kwon. Therefore, she asks Asahi to take the matter of forming a clan seriously. Though Asahi makes Kwon blush by saying that Gloria indeed has a friend on which she can rely on, her name is Kwon. So Asahi decides to make a plan to cheer up the princess. Later that night, Maya is cooking dinner. Asahi is figuring out the members that'll join his clan. However, Asahi feels like the clan would be way too powerful with such members. Well, of course, excluding himself. It would even increase Asahi's chance of being caught. Though Maya likes the idea of making allies through clan, since Asahi never had any friends in his previous life. Moreover, Maya claims that Asahi is the main character of this clan. Hence, he'll be the one to make decisions. Moreover, Maya doesn't believe in stats. She claims that Asahi has high potential. He just needs to be confident. So Asahi becomes emotional after hearing such words after a long time. Later, the whole clan members are shown to have a conference. Everyone seems to be worried about the Asahi. Turns out that Asahi has been turned into stone by a basilisk. Basilisk is a lizard who has Medusa's power. Well, it reveals that Asahi went on a treasure hunting quest, though he lets his guard down and stares straight into Basilisk's eyes. Hence, he gets turned into stone. Moreover, even Sophie doesn't know such a spell to undo his hardness. Therefore, Kwon suggests the gang to let her ask Kwon. Maybe the guy at the pawn shop would have such a potion that would cure Asahi. While Sophie runs to the temple to search for a cure, Maya finds this opportunity and starts teasing Asahi by coming closer to him for a kiss. Moreover, she takes Asahi's statue to her bed, where she starts to rub Asahi's body with her hand. Anyways, after a few moments, Kwon returns and explains that Huan is currently out of stock. Therefore, Asahi cannot be purified. The temple also seems to be helpless. So Big Brain Maya comes up with the idea that if all the girls take a hot bath with Asahi, he might get cured. Moreover, the girls also agree with Maya's idea. Of course they would. Hence, the girls get undressed and join the bath with Asahi. My boy is now hard from the inside out. So at this point, Asahi just stands in the bathtub and witnesses the girls cleaning themselves. Moments later, Maya has tried every possible way, but nothing seems to cure the Asahi. Therefore, Maya decides to try one last thing, which is to kiss Asahi. She didn't even bother to search for proper cures by experts. Thankfully, Kilmaria stops Maya right on time, so Maya starts to debate with Kilmaria. Moreover, she explains the whole situation to her. Hence, Kilmaria uses her total healing spell and within seconds, Asahi returns to his normal form. Though he finds it awkward to interact with Maya, since he has seen so much today, Kilmaria hugs Asahi and reveals that it must be hard to be stoned while being conscious. It shocks Maya, therefore she walks straight up to her room. And for the first time, we could see Maya feeling embarrassed. Later on, NC arrives at the guild with his crew. He intends to register his clan. After many debates, the episode ends with Maya registering the clan by the name of Super Asahi Legion. It starts with a sunny day at the beach, where Johnny seems to be having quality time with his lover Kathy. Well, moments after a shark appears that's wandering around, so it starts to come towards Johnny. Though Kathy manages to spot it, but she freezes due to shock. Worst thing someone could do at this moment. So instead of attacking Johnny, a weird-looking shark that has a human stomach and legs attached to it jumps toward Kathy. So it then cuts to Asahi visiting the guild. Moreover, Tanya seems to be handing Asahi a quest. The quest turns out to be a shark hunt. However, Asahi seems to be excited about this quest. So Tanya explains that recently there have been reports of multiple injuries due to shark attacks at the Lupercala beach. It makes Asahi happy because this would be the first clan quest. Moreover, Asahi feels like the Super Asahi Legion would easily tackle this quest. People on this clan have dealt with way more powerful monsters, except him. It also bothers Maya that hunting a shark is nothing compared to orcs and wyverns. So our scaredy cat Asahi interrupts Maya and tells her to not underestimate the shark. Ro just want to see his clan in swimsuits at the beach. Moreover, he claims that sharks are like the progenitors in the Monster Panic movie. Furthermore, he explains that sharks also have multiple heads since they are turned into robots to destroy the land. Dumb Maya falls for Asahi's story and believes that sharks might have evolved that much. So Asahi takes this opportunity and convinces Maya that this world is full of mystery. But still, Maya believes that this quest is way too simple to drag the whole clan. So she suggests to Asahi that the two of them should go on the quest. Turns out, Big Brain Maya asked Asahi to be with just her, so she could spend time with him alone. Moreover, Maya seems excited since she'll be wearing a swimsuit. Therefore, she immediately agrees to the quest and asks Asahi to go to the Lupercala beach. And here we thought that Maya had fair reasons for not involving the clan. Later, they arrive at the beach, though Maya seems to be in a bad mood. Turns out their whole clan decided to accompany Asahi to the beach. Even so, Maya kept this quest a secret, but Kwon had her eyes on him. Therefore, the girls managed to arrive at the beach, even before Asahi. However, Gloria's main purpose to Dragon is to make a romantic relationship with Asahi. Hopefully, this girl would have some holy plans on her mind. And surprisingly, Tanya also seems to be joining this quest with Asahi. She even took her day off for this, though she blames Sophie for convincing her to come. Moreover, Tanya mentions that she'll be keeping her eye on Asahi to calculate his power. At this point, Asahi starts to feel bad, because everyone seems to be at the beach except Kilmaria. So Maya tells Asahi that she indeed tried to bring Kilmaria here, but she was sleeping like a log who refused to wake up. However, Kwon interrupts everyone and announces that she wants to share two news with everyone. One is good and one is sad. Well, according to Kwon, the sad news is that they have fulfilled their task. Gloria and Tanya already defeated the sharks, way before Asahi and Maya arrived. On the other hand, she reveals that the good news is that they can now enjoy their day at the beach. Well, except Asahi, everyone seems to be excited to have their day off at the beach. So Maya tells him that such moments only happen once in a while. And at last, Asahi decides to take his day off to enjoy the beach. That's when Kwon interrupts everyone. She explains that everyone is wearing the wrong attire for a beach day. Therefore, she bought clothes for everyone. So as everyone changes, Asahi seems rather disappointed to see Tanya and Sophie in school swimsuits. Most probably, Kwon would have done this on purpose, so Gloria would have the upper hand in the competition. Moreover, Maya seems to be wearing a swimsuit that looks exactly like her regular clothes. So Kwon explains that she had specially ordered Maya's swimsuit to be similar to her clothing. This makes Asahi think that if it's just Kwon or the whole Brigandine family is like this. That's where Gloria makes her entry, and unsurprisingly, she seems to be wearing a bikini that attracts Asahi's eye. Indeed, Gloria planned everything wisely. Therefore, Asahi compliments Gloria's outfit, even though Kwon forced him. So Gloria starts blushing. But that's where the legendary Kilmaria makes her wildcard entry. She even introduces herself as Asahi's companion. Moreover, her swimsuit seems to be way too exposing. Hence, Maya immediately strikes Kilmaria, though she manages to block her attack. That's where Maya tells Kilmaria to leave because her outfit would put a bad influence on Asahi. Moreover, she even calls her shameless. Didn't Maya always try to do inappropriate activities with Asahi? Anyways, Kilmaria and Maya's debate starts. On the other hand, Tanya and Sophie run toward Asahi. Both of them seem to be curious, so they ask Asahi if Kilmaria is really his companion and if Asahi is into her. Though Asahi immediately acts like he doesn't know Kilmaria well, and she's just Maya's friend. However, Gloria gets anxious, because her mission of wearing the most revealing outfit just failed. Moreover, she feels like she can't compete with someone who blocked Maya's attack that easily. Furthermore, Gloria even finds Kilmaria's jiggle quite impressive. She believes that Kilmaria isn't any average person. So now, Kwon and Gloria have no other options but to switch to Plan B. Moments later, Kilmaria seems to be wearing another dress that most probably Gloria gave her. However, Kilmaria gets extremely close to Asahi and allows him to have a closer look. He's literally 14. Though at this point, Maya seems to be raging with anger. But that's when Gloria and Kwon ask Asahi to join them in playing volleyball. Turns out, Gloria and Kwon have held a competition that consists of 3 summer games. The tournament is called the Asahi Scramble. Moreover, the winner of the tournament would get a special voucher. Furthermore, she explains that the winner can use that voucher to make Asahi do one thing that the winner would desire. Does the word consent exist in this anime or not? Everyone gets excited about the game now, except Asahi, since he has no perk in winning this game. Whereas, Gloria is lost in her thought of using the voucher to spend some time with Asahi at the beach alone. On the other hand, Sophie reveals that she wants to take the mold of Asahi, so she would place statues of him around the town if she gets the voucher. It scares Asahi to see these women having wild fantasies about him. And before the game even begins, the rage of rivalry begins in between everyone. Anyways, the game begins shortly after. However, the first match of volleyball gets held, in which Maya and Kilmaria team up against Gloria and Kwon, though the match ends in Maya's favor. And so, the tournament continues, and moments later, the winner of the tournament gets announced, which is none other than Maya herself. Why is it always her? Then it cuts to Asahi rubbing sunscreen on Maya's back, while Kilmaria is waiting for her turn. Though the group immediately rushes toward the water as they see Tanya and Sophie being surrounded by sharks. Moreover, a flaming shark confronts Gloria for slaughtering other sharks. Turns out, those sharks are the Sea King's greatest 10 sharks, so these sharks attack the group. Though, as expected, everyone manages to defeat these sharks easily. But that's where a shark throws Asahi in a water tornado. Luckily, Maya arrives in time to help him, though Asahi passes out. Anyways, later as Asahi wakes up, Maya immediately hugs Asahi while crying. She explains that they have been swept away to an unknown island. Probably, Maya planned all this. At this point, they are relying on Kilmaria to sense their presence and arrive for help. However, Asahi decides to explore the island and arrange things for their dinner. Later, they seem to have crafted a wooden house in which Maya cooks food for Asahi. So during the sunset, Maya reveals that she's enjoying her time with Asahi. Moreover, she prays that it'll be just the two of them always. So Asahi asks Maya how she feels about getting reincarnated in this world. To which Maya replies that she feels happy because she gets to see her little brother having fun every day. This type of sibling bonding is what we expect from them. Asahi even reveals that, at first, he felt quite sad since he had no powers like Maya. But thanks to Maya, Asahi gained all this motivation. At this point, the siblings seem to be having quality time. Asahi reveals that he might get a cold. And that's where the old Maya jumps in. She tries to hold and kiss Asahi to keep him warm. Yup, the usual Maya. At night, the great king of sharks confronts them. Though before the king shark would end his speech, the rest of the group arrives and launches an attack on the shark king. Moreover, Maya reveals that they were never stranded. Instead, the girls made an agreement in which each of them gets to spend one day with Asahi. Anyways, back to the fight. The king of sharks summons the same 10 champions. Weirdly, these sharks turn out to be robots, who are changing their form and assembling into one super great king shark Mark II. They must be the Power Rangers of the sea. At this point, Asahi seems scared. Though we then see Maya walking towards Mark II in rage. She's pissed off because those sharks ruined her precious moment with Asahi. Therefore, she launches her Omega Fire attack, which results in literally melting the sharks. Maya can bear anything except getting interrupted while spending time with Asahi, though it creates fear of Maya among other girls. We finally see Asahi, Maya, and Kilmaria playing chess while a slime seems to be walking around their house in the rain. It begins to rain, which bores Asahi since he can't go out on quests. So Maya asks him to go for a walk to distract himself. Moreover, she reveals her intentions of romantically sharing an umbrella with him. On the other hand, Maria suggests that they should just stay at home and drink in this rainy weather. From being Demon Lord's general to just a wasted girl, Maria did have a great character fall. However, Maya tries to convince Asahi to go out with her. She explains that they'll be touching each other's shoulders and would naturally get closer under a single umbrella, while Maria tries to convince him to stay at home and enjoy the sound of rain. Moreover, both of the girls approach Asahi for a kiss. Therefore, Asahi uses escape and teleport. He gets tired of their behavior and asks them to cut it out. We then see a mysterious girl sitting at the top of the castle. She seems to be using some sort of shield to protect herself from rain. So the next day, Asahi finally steps outside his home as the rain stops. Maya finds this weather perfect for doing her laundry, while Maria decides to visit a tavern. Though that's where they realize that their lawn is flooded with water. Moreover, as Asahi steps on the water, it starts to pull him. Then that slime flies Asahi off, though luckily Maya saves him. And as he falls down, the slime sticks to his head. Therefore, Asahi finds it difficult to breathe. At this point, Maria and Maya start to debate on who would launch their attack to save him. However, Asahi uses escape to teleport before he runs out of breath. Finally, this kid is learning to save himself at least. Looks like the whole city is covered with slime, which is attacking everyone. So the villagers started to evacuate to higher grounds. As Asahi is running to help villagers, he hears Tanya's voice. Turns out the slime has groped Tanya. She's literally getting harassed by slime. Luckily, Asahi saves her. However, he asks Tanya to not get touchy with her since she's covered in slime. So Tanya asks him if he hates such wet and slippery stuff. Hence, Maya steps in and exposes Asahi. She reveals that back in the real world, Asahi used to look at such sexual images of such scenes. Anyways, Maya gets serious as she asks Tanya about the situation. Therefore, Tanya explains that the middle-class district has been heavily damaged due to this. She further explains that she found something when she was reading some of Caesarian's tomes. Turns out, the same event occurred in the village a long time ago. It is known as the Great Slime Flood. Turns out that there's a legendary slime that exists that gets bigger as it absorbs water. Therefore, due to the heavy rain yesterday, the slime has grown enormously. However, it surprises Maya because a slime doesn't move an inch unless someone commands him. So in order to stop these phenomena, they have to find the mastermind behind this. Since they have Maya, it won't be hard to deal with the mastermind. Therefore, Maya and Maria depart from Asahi to begin their search. However, Asahi wanted them to save the townspeople first and evacuate Tanya. That's where Tanya mentions that Roy is going missing since he left his home in the morning to play. So Asahi holds Tanya's hand and promises her that he will bring Roy back no matter what. Why does this guy always give confusing hints? Anyways, Tanya runs away to evacuate, while Asahi asks Maya and Maria to split. So Maya plans to use her big sis Thunder to blow the slime away. However, Asahi stops her since it would electrocute the townspeople to death. On the other hand, Maria reveals that she intends to burn the slime into cinders with her flames. And once again, Asahi stops her because it would literally burn the townspeople who are trapped in slime. These girls don't seem to care about human life at all. Therefore, Asahi asks them to stay on standby until it all calms down. He then immediately runs to save the villagers. Moreover, Maria and Maya decide to look after the mastermind for the time being. Anyways, on her way, Tanya seems to be walking beside an old lady known as Hoon's son. That's where that mysterious girl snaps her finger and a question mark appears in front of everyone. Moreover, a scroll gets opened. Hence, a bunch of demonic bats get summoned. These bats start to chase Tanya, but a hero makes his appearance and seems to be covered in his full armor. He then cuts the demonic bats into half using his sword. And on the other hand, a lady appears who seems to be a magician, since she uses her scarlet flames to burn the rest of the bat. And lastly, another girl who seems to be an archer appears and shoots her arrow at the scroll. Henceforth, the scroll gets destroyed, which impresses everyone. Turns out, those heroes belong to the clan known as Balmunk. However, as time passes by, the slime seems to be growing around the town as it consumes water. Moreover, that girl summons some demons to attack the village. We then see Roy protecting a girl from the monster as they hide. Bro started to act brave to impress the girl. However, he reveals that he never imagined monsters entering this town, since he believes that Asahi would already have taken care of it. However, they are unable to run away, since that girl's leg seems to be injured. That's where Asahi finally manages to reach Roy. At this point, Asahi feels proud of Roy, since he risked his life and chose to stay to protect the girl. Therefore, Asahi asks Roy to lead the way, while he would carry the girl on his back. And so, both of them start to run towards higher ground. However, some dragon slimes surround them. Fortunately, an adventurer from the ogre class arrives on time and saves them. Asahi can't even protect himself from slime at this point. Even Sieg's son joins the fight. It surprises Roy to see the legendary dragon hunter Siegfried. Didn't know that Sieg is actually famous. However, those dragon slimes keep regenerating again and again, so Sieg suggests finding and killing the core who's causing all this. Though he asks Asahi to take the kids up to the cathedral to get the wounded girl treated, while Sieg would take care of the slimes in the nearby areas. On the other hand, the elites from higher grounds have locked their houses down. They refuse to take any refugees, so Tanya keeps banging on their door hopelessly. Moreover, it pisses off Mimosa the fact that these upper-class people only think about themselves. Therefore, Tanya decides to lead the villagers to Brigandane's house, since she has hope that Gloria would never let her down. Perks of having elite friends. However, the slimes have reached the upper grounds too at this point, since the water level just keeps rising. On the other hand, Asahi finally reaches the cathedral where he sees Sophie curing the injured ones with her magic. However, Sophie collapses into Asahi's arm due to excessive usage of her magic, though she manages to heal that girl's leg. So Asahi asks Sophie to look after the kids while he goes to find the core of slime. Back to Tanya, even Gloria's house seems to be locked. Moreover, even monsters began to summon along with slimes. However, the person who is summoning such a monster finally gets confronted by Kilmeria and Maya. The mastermind is known as the Witch of Control, Guraligula, who uses a magical portal to summon monsters from other dimensions. It then cuts to Gloria finally deciding to let the villagers inside her house. But Sebastian seems to be blocking the gate since he doesn't want to risk any chaos inside the building. But Gloria manages to convince Sebastian to move aside by claiming responsibility if any chaos occurs. So finally, the villagers get shelter at Brigandane's house. But that's where a beast gets summoned and it instantly reaches out to attack Tanya. Luckily, Tika jumps in time and saves her. Anyways, back to Kilmeria. Guraligula seems rather shocked to see Kilmeria of corruption in a place like this. She even starts to convince Kilmeria to return and not betray the demon clan. While Guraligula gets pissed at Maya for interrupting her, she seems to launch her ultimate attack, whereas Gloria and Kuon finally unite with Asahi. So now the three of them begin their search for the core of slimes. It takes seconds for Kuon to find the core with her Hawkeye skill. Why wasn't she on the battlefield before? On the other hand, Maya doesn't feel a thing when Guraligula launches her attack. That's where Kilmeria launches an attack on Guraligula, which throws her far away and almost knocks her down. Though it impresses Maya, since she managed to survive Kilmeria's attack. Therefore, Maya decides to try her new technique on her. Hence, Maya uses her new technique known as Big Sis Forever. Weirdly, Guraligula seems to be relaxed and claims that she feels warm. She's literally in between Maya's chest, while Asahi uses his throwing skills and finally manages to break the core of the slime by throwing a rock at it in midair. Maya catches Asahi when he falls, and so the village gets saved from the chaos. Though it confuses Asahi on how the slime water sink. Turns out there's a huge hole out of the village, and that's where the slime is getting stored along with Guraligula. Anyways, after this incident, Asahi gets promoted to the Golem class. This time, he deserves it. Moreover, a celebration gets held at Asahi's house in which all the heroes along with guild members join. Furthermore, Asahi gets the chance to kiss any girl that he likes as a token of appreciation for saving the village. So Asahi steps outside for some air, and that's where he sees Maya sitting outside. Asahi then joins Maya and thanks her for always being there. The siblings seem to be having a great moment, till Maya approaches Asahi for a kiss. Then we see Gloria crying because Asahi refused to kiss her earlier.